Hi, I'm Vincent. I'm from the Writing Center at the University of the Free State, and in today's video, we're going to be speaking about argumentation in academic writing. To start things off, I think it's important that we have a look at why argumentation is important in academic writing. You may be surprised to hear that the word argument doesn't have to be written anywhere in your assignment instruction for it to be an important part of your task. In fact, making an argument, expressing a point of view on a subject, and supporting it with evidence is often the aim of academic writing. Your lecturers may call on you to examine that interpretation and defend it, refute it, or offer some new view of your own. Therefore, the ultimate aims of developing argumentative skills in academic writing are to, firstly, develop independent thinkers, secondly, understand information as well as critique it, thirdly, value and appreciate different forms or sets of evidence, and lastly, recognize and value other perspectives and sets of knowledge. Now that we've discussed the importance of argumentation in academic writing, let's have a look at how to construct an argument in academic writing. In academic writing, an argument is usually a main idea, which is often called a claim, and that is backed up with evidence that supports that idea. In most of your assignments, you'll need to make some sort of claim and use evidence to support that claim. This begs the question, what are the criteria for an argument in academic writing? An argument should be clearly and precisely stated, leaving no room for ambiguity or confusion. It should be specific and focused, addressing a particular aspect of the topic. It often invites analysis, discussion, or debate. It should also maintain an objective tone. You can achieve this by avoiding emotional language or biased language. And lastly, it must be backed up by credible evidence such as research findings, data, statistics, expert opinions, or examples from authoritative voices. Now that we've covered the theory underpinning argumentation in academic writing, let's look at an example of an argument. So when you look at this sentence, remember, is it stated clearly and precisely? Is it specific and focused? Does it invite analysis, discussion, or debate? Does it maintain an objective tone and avoid emotional language or biased language? Is it backed up by credible evidence, such as research findings, data, statistics, expert opinions, or examples from authoritative sources? Feel free to pause the video here and take some time to review the information we just discussed. Now that you've analyzed the statement, let's quickly critique it and see whether it meets the criteria for an effective argument. Let's have a look at this statement. The statement currently is clear and precise in its assertion that South Africa possesses diverse ecosystems and is critical for biodiversity conservation. It also conveys the central message briefly and concisely. The statement is specific and it's focused on two key points: South Africa's diverse ecosystems and the necessity of conservation efforts, and also it doesn't deviate from its main message. The statement also invites analysis and discussion by asserting the importance of conservation efforts. It prompts the question about what species are at risk and what measures are being taken. Therefore, it encourages further exploration and debate. The statement maintains an objective tone throughout. It does not employ emotional or biased language, but presents information in a straightforward manner. While the statement lacks specific citations or references to research findings or statistics, it makes a factual claim about South Africa's biodiversity. However, it would be improved by providing credible evidence or examples from authoritative sources to support the assertion. So now that we've looked at one example, let's have a look at how we can better present this statement now that we've just written. In the following example, the text that is highlighted blue is a claim, and the text that is highlighted in yellow is the supporting evidence for the claims that we're making. To summarize our lesson, we can compare the two examples that we presented. In the first example, We did not apply all the criteria that is required for good argumentation in academic writing. The statement needed to include more evidence and references to strengthen its argument. Furthermore, even though it invited analysis and discussion, it did not provide context-specific examples related to the South African biodiversity. In contrast, the second example met all the criteria for good argumentation in academic writing. The statement was clear and precise, it was specific and focused, it invited analysis and discussion, maintained an objective tone, it was also backed up by credible evidence. When you use the criteria that we've established for writing good arguments in academic writing, you're sure to do well in your writing and future assignments. Good luck on your journey.